What do your colleagues, spouse, and kids have in common with a 5-ton killer whale? That's what we're going to be talking about today.
This is the Franchise Pitfalls and Profit Show. Each week, we bring you the challenges and triumphs of being in the franchise development and consulting business. The things you need to make money faster. And now your host, one of the most successful franchise developers in North America, Don Shin.
I'm going to be talking today about an oldie but a goodie book by Ken Blanchard, one of the authors of Whale Done. You know, Ken and his company were always part of the positive management movement. He and his company are involved in the 1 Minute Manager series of books. And this book continued that legacy, if you will, from the standpoint of what positive approaches can do to not only your business relationships and your business success, but also your personal relationships. This particular book talks about what they did, what animal trainers were doing at SeaWorld with killer whales. And what Ken Blanchard talks about in this book is what both whales and people have in common when it comes to performance. And that is, when you accentuate the positive, you get better results. So Well Done's based on those techniques of the animal trainers. The initial message is all about that you don't punish a killer whale and then put a person, a human, in the pool with them as a trainer to try to get positive responses out of them. It's funny, they talk about that at one point in time, if you do that, then the trainer ends up becoming, dinner, for the killer whale. So the book talks a lot about, what we tend to do with negative reinforcements and those pitfalls of that versus the positive reinforcements that really get great results. And they see it with the killer whales all the time. They demonstrate, again, that animal training demonstrates that these techniques work extremely well. And I remember the book speaking specifically to what is your response after you teach someone how to do something, or after you're speaking with them and they react or they respond. What's your response to that? And so the most effective is a redirect or a positive response in some form. That's the most powerful. So I'll give an example of children. I remember teaching our kids how to make their bed, teaching our kids how to keep their room clean. So you could go into there and you could teach them and you could tell them and you could encourage them, and then go in and look at the room and see some things still disheveled, or maybe the bed wasn't quite tucked in the way you would like it. But rather than going in and pointing out all of these negatives, like, why didn't you pick up those things off of the floor? Why didn't you tuck in this corner on the bed? You actually go in and reinforce, this looks pretty good. Hey, I see that you dusted your room. You didn't get to the laundry. So the next time you're working on keeping your room clean, why don't you pick up that laundry and be sure, instead of dropping your dirty clothes on the floor, you put them in the hamper. So it's encouraging them to respond to what you're teaching, to respond to what you're training, and yet you're still able to redirect them that they need a little bit more work to get it, to do it with excellence and to really get it done. So this is a great book. In essence, you've heard about the carrot and the stick. This is a great book where I heard it said that the carrot replaces the stick in building relationships that continue strongly or that endure. It's a great read. It's a very short read. It's an easy read. And so what are you going to do? What is your style? And are you going to change that style in any way, shape, or form? It's kind of interesting. He talks about, is your management style the gotcha? Your response is, I caught you not doing this, or I caught you not doing it correctly. Or is your response well done? Well done. Are you seeing people doing things right? Are you catching people doing things right? So I challenge you to go back and do some self-analysis and self based on the book. Go read the book if you've never read it, or if you have read it, go find your copy and look over it again. Look at the most powerful response that you can give, which is a positive one, which is a redirection of one. And be honest with yourself and see whether your style is indeed a gotcha style or is it a well done style.